Hi, hello from location on the very cold and windy mountains in Costa Rica. We're
Beautiful. I'm very
we're not just
jealous.
yeah, we're not just beaches and everything. So amazing. How you doing? So very happy to talk to you, man.
Thank you. It's nice to see you.
So, well, first, congrats on the new season of the show. Kiddos, that's great. Uh,
Thank you.
you are a veritable AI whisperer on the show. Uh, are you are you a techie in real life, or is it just pure unadulterated acting?
There was some crossover. Like I love technology. My dad works in computers, and so I
Uh-huh.
grew up like around having a super nerd in my house who was so brilliant, and he was always 10 steps ahead of everybody else, when it came to technology. So I'm sort of used to that being a part of my
Hmm.
day-to-day life. And that definitely has come very in handy with Ian. Nowadays, I don't know if I'm as amazing. I don't know if I'm as big of a tech whiz in real life as I used to
Oh.
be. I need to go live with my dad for a little bit and then I'll get better.
And does he give any input to you, like, this should have been like this or that?
No, and, you know what? I'm shocked by the lack of notes that he's given me. I think I need to take that as a high compliment.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Well, traditionally, the geek or the techie on the show is, I don't want to say relegated, but their stories, their arches are really not so very well developed. But that's not your
Yeah.
case. It's great. So, what can you tell me about you for this season? What can people hope for?
Yeah.
I'm
I,
sorry.
I think you're entirely right. Like often the person that sort of
Yeah,
has a job in the show, like you
the
only
chair
really,
guy.
yeah, exactly. Like you
Yeah,
only see them in the chair. And
yeah.
I'm really happy that this show has done such a great job of fleshing out our characters and giving us a lot of opportunity to tell stories that are outside of the headquarters and sort of see the anxiety of the characters and really get to know them in a way that's super intimate. And
Hmm.
season two builds on that. Like season two takes what we established in that first year and actually makes it even bigger. Like we have so many more opportunities now, the people who work at headquarters, to show all of the different things that we can do in season two in a way that like is so exciting, and I can't wait for audiences to see.
Yeah, well, talking about fleshing out characters, also your character is non-binary, and the way they portray the character is very good because it's not your stereotypical approach to a non-binary character. Do you agree on that? What's your take on that?
I'm really grateful that it's something that we're attempting to normalize.
Yeah.
Ian's identity is one small part of the character. Like them being non-binary is kind of secondary to all of the other things that they bring to the
Hmm.
show. And that to me is so radical and so important because I think that's going to be something that in a few years I'm already so grateful for, but I'm going to be really grateful for how that just made it really easy and made it really simple for people to be able to meet Ian where they're at, and that not be the only thing they think of when they see the character. They're not just like, that's the non-binary character on the show. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
Ian's hilarious and Ian's really smart and Ian's really important to the team and is respected by the team, and they're also non-binary.
Yeah.
It's just a part of them.
Well made.
Thank you.
Now, if you could quantum leap into someone else, who would that be and why and when?
I feel like my answer to this has always been David Bowie. I would
Oh,
love to.
man, great.
I want to leap into David Bowie on the last Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars like show. That final performance, I would love
Yeah.
to leap into Bowie and just experience that because there's just nothing comparable to that anymore. I would love to do that.
You've got taste and
Thank
pop
you.
culture knowledge, man.
Thank you.
I thought you were gonna say the Frankenberger.
Oh, that'd be, you know what? Honestly, yeah, I would love to be Tim Curry for a day and do the Rocky Horror Show.
So, what's the direction you think or you wish the show would go on from seasons to come? Because I'm hoping to be interviewing you for season 8 or 9.
I mean,
So,
how amazing would that be?
yeah.
I would be really honored if we could stick around that long. I think that the show is so exciting what it can accomplish. It really it's an amazing opportunity for people to get to walk in other people's shoes and to empathize with stories that they, week to week it changes, and they get to experience like a day in the life, essentially of these different characters. So I just hope that we get to continue doing it for many seasons, because I think the opportunity for storytelling there's so many places we can take the show. And I hope it just continues to build the way that like season 2 really did embrace utilizing the people at headquarters. Like we really get to spend a lot more time on the show, like doing stuff. So I think that I would love to continue down that route.
Yeah, and actually you can do anything and everything with the show. That's great. What about the audience's feedback? Because when a show that's a remake there's also the comparison to what came before and everything. But I think that once it gets its own wind, that goes out the window. So how have you felt with the audience's reaction?
I mean, probably the most flattering thing in the world is when a fan of the original comes up to me and it's like, I used to watch this, with my family or with my parents, and now I get to show your version to my kids. Like that is so cool. The sort of cross-generational audience that the show has had, and the people that have stuck with it all the way through our version, really, it's so special and unlike anything else. Like there are very few things that have been around for 30 years in that way. It's cool. It's like being a part of Star Wars, or like just being a part of certain properties that like you talk about it and people have a memory of it. Like they
there's a fandom. There's a big fandom of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I love meeting the fans of the show, and I'm really grateful that so many people who loved the original have gone on for the ride, because we've taken so much of what made the original great and the plots and the setups and stuff and just expanded on that and honored what that was. And I'm glad that more and more people are sort of catching on to that and not being so scared of it, thinking it's like a hard reboot, thinking that we're just from ground zero, because we're not. Like we always were about honoring the plot points in the original, and it's been such a joy.
And what's next for you? Because you've had such an interesting career. Like, man, the things you've done, it's great. It's like your own little David Bowie or something.
Thank you. I'm just happy I got to a place where I have the freedom of choice, where there's actual options and things that I can decide between. Like, that's insane. The fact that I've made a career where I, can pay my rent doing what I love. Like, that's the coolest thing in the world. But no, I've been, the last few years have been really amazing for me. And I'm grateful for all the people I've gotten to work with and collaborate with. I hope that there's more theater next. I hope that there's like more opportunity for me to do some fun like stage work. I think that fills my heart with a lot of joy. There's stuff that's hopefully going to happen that I'll be able to talk about soon. But until then, I have to, pretend like I don't know what's going on.
You'll pretend, that's right. Well, we won't pretend, and I'll be here waiting to talk to you again. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. It was nice to meet you.